Alrighty traders, let's get into the actual markets right now and let's actually see what could be coming up moving forward into the first week of the new year. Big happy new year to everyone. So let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, so I want to start off by looking at the S&P 500, and the one thing that's been a very big common theme is about how high the S&P 500 has been going through here. And this is what very strong bull legs do, right? They keep going further than you think, but when they drop faster than you think. And the more we actually go to the upside, like this vertically, if we don't start to slow down and get a bit of a correction, the harder the pullback, the correction, that the drop is going to be to put in some equilibrium around the markets. So what I mean by equilibrium is that if I bring on my 52 moving average, you can see once again that whenever we never get too far away from the moving average before we eventually come back to it. So while there's some people who are in the camp of that, oh, John, the market's going to keep going up, you're an idiot. Alrighty then. All right. While there's the camp with that. The thing is that if we're looking at the probability, what is the probability of this now making what's the probability of this going to 6,000? Right? Yeah. So yeah, we're at what, 4,700. We may have one more little push to get maybe to 5,000, maybe. Right. So we can do that. Right. But if you want to try and go long this particular market here. Now, by the way, traders, I'm talking about the S&P 500. I'm not talking about the individual stocks. The individual stocks are doing what? They're doing all kinds of different patterns. Right? I have in the top 1,000 stocks right now across America, I have a watch list. Okay. And I would have to say about maybe out of say a couple of dozen stocks that are on my watch list right now. Half of them, I've got bullish setups ready for confirmation. And half of them are bearish setups ready for confirmation. And so the purpose of me telling you that is that I'm doing an update right now on the S&P 500, but please don't make that sway your decisions across an individual stock. So the only thing about trading, right, is all about, and if you've been trading markets for a while, you would know this, right, is that while you start to throw your opinion at the markets, it's never a good idea, right? Our opinion is always wrong. Right? So for example, my opinion right now is that we're going to see a correction real soon, or maybe a bit of a sideways movement. Just allow the market to cool off a little bit before we get going again, which I do believe we're going to, right? But that's my opinion. It doesn't mean we can't keep going up, right? So in order for me to continue to be successful in the market, and in order for you to be successful in the markets, what do we need to do? We need to what? We need to have a trading setup, right? So even though the stock market is very bullish right now, if you're looking at, let's just call it a mining stock, or looking at some of the stocks in the S&P 500, and you get a very good clean bearish setup according to your rules, then you need to take it, right? Because it's what's happening on the individual stocks does not mean what's happening on the individual basis. Because there's many stocks right now that are making 52-week highs, and there's actually many stocks in the S&P 500 that are making 52-week lows, right? So don't try and put what I'm doing right now, which is just giving you some guidance on what the indexes are doing, have that sway your opportunities in the markets, because the stock market can go for another 10, the index can go for another 10% move up, but there can be many stocks that can have a 20 or 30% drop in the exact same time, while actually being part of the S&P 500. You see what I'm saying there? So that's a very big thing that I really want you to understand. So, but the whole thing about looking at the markets right now is that it's all about probability, right? So firstly, if you are trading the markets, you trade based off some set of rules, okay? So if people say, oh, I think the market's going to go to 5,000, so therefore I'm going to trade it. Very, 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 very big mistake, right? Because that's not based off rules, right? That's just based off what you think is going to happen. And for you guys, you can leave a comment section in below, right? For you guys that have been trading for a while, you would know that if we go and trade the market based off our thoughts, guess what happens? It never works out. In fact, last year, I can say last year now, can't I? It was 2024 for me anyway. So good eye here in Australia, okay? Last year, there were a handful of trades that I got in based off what I thought, and none of them worked out. None of them, right? It's like none of them actually, but the trades that did work out, guess what? They met my plan, they met my pattern, they met my rules. And then a lot of those did actually work out, which gave me a very good positive outcome for the year. So exactly what I'm trying to share with you is exactly a message to myself as well too. Now, what has happened in my personal trading over the last 20 years is back over here. This is my starting point, which by the way, my starting point was like this for the first 5 years. Now my starting point, now where I'm at the market is like this. Why am I like that? Because if I make a couple of $100,000 on a trade, which happens all the time, if I do that, okay, guess what? Now my ego is involved, right? I'm the man, I'm the king, doing moonwalks at the back door, right? So the reason why I'm not like this, but I'm like this, is because guess what? I've learned over my 20 years, now this is going on close to my 20 years, actually yeah, in February, it'll be 20 years me looking at and being involved with the markets, okay? So 20 years. So looking at that, I have learned that my ego will slap me really, really hard if I let it get out of control. All right, I'm the king. I just made $200,000 on this trade. I'm the man. Right? No, you're not. You're king shit. And because you think you know it all, and you guys have probably been here before, right? So because you think you know it all, because your ego is involved, like I have done many times in the past, or you might make, your yearly income might be say $50,000 a year from a job, and you go make $15,000 on a trade. Whoa, man. Used to take me a couple of months to make that, and now you swell up, right? I'm the man. Oh, this is easy. I got this. Haha. Guess what the market does for the people who have a bit of a chip on their shoulder, a bit of an egotistical approach to the markets. The market gives you a bit of a sweet humble pie, doesn't it? It's a very, 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 actually it's not really sweet, that humble pie. That's actually pretty sour. It's like, oh man, what a maraka. That's maraka. That's a polite maraka. I'm not trying to be, if that means something in another language, guys, I'm not trying to be derogatory of that there, or trying to be like that, but maraka, that's motherfucker, right? Being polite, right? Because if we've been there, so the purpose of me saying that is that it's all based off, and this is one big thing, it just takes time, right? As you go through your own trading, right? It's all about trying to not let that ego get involved. So whenever you do have a good traders, and that's where, like for me personally, I try not to talk about how much money I'm making in the markets. I make a lot of money by being involved with the markets. But, throughout the years, I've made lots and lots and lots of money, right? But I can't let that ego. That's the reason why very rarely do I talk about how much money I've made on this channel, because it's not about that. It's like, who cares, right? Now with my private clients do know, because they see the trades I'm taking, they see the risk I'm actually putting on per trade, so they can sort of calculate how much money I made and so on and so forth, right? But on this YouTube channel, there's no room for ego, right? My goal is to service for you. So, but the point wrapping around now to this here is that if you are going to take a trade based off what you think is going to happen, then there's no foundation, right? We need a real good foundation. This is the foundation, right? This is the rules. So we can actually do something like this with our accounts through the year. So that's what I'm seeing through there on the S&P 500. Good old Nasdaq, same thing as well too. Now look what the Nasdaq did. Isn't this interesting? Look where the Nasdaq is right now. It actually ran up to an all-time new high and actually failed. Guess what this is going to be? This is what, there's a huge probability this is going to be what? A false breakout. And with that false breakout comes what? A bit of a pullback in the markets. So I'm actually expecting the first couple of months of this year to be weak. Not a crash, right? Now, if you've seen my videos in the past, there's nothing here to say the market's going to crash, right? We're not in the downward trend yet. But if we have a look at this here, yes, we've had a very little up there. We had this move, had a little pullback, and then another big move to the upside. Guess what's coming, right? Possibly a bit of a cooling off period, right? Where we do something like this for a while, okay? And then maybe we do something like that for a while. But we need a cooling off period. It is not going to just go straight up, because even if you look at this here, zoop, straight up, big correction. Zoop, straight up, big correction. Zoop, straight up, then that happens, right? Big move through here. Ooh. Right, big move through there. Guess what? Big correction. Makes sense? So we can see that that's what's going on there. So the probability is that that's what's going to happen. Now, again, I must reiterate with what I said at the start of this support video, this coaching video for you, is that even though that's happening right now, that is not going to sway me from taking a bullish setup in the markets, right? Because the Nasdaq might be telling me this, but if I've got a beautiful, high quality, what's called an A quality setup that I know 80+% of the time, like 90+% of the time, 95% of the time, if I get an A quality setup, which I know 95, almost 100% of the time it's going to make a profit, why wouldn't I take a trade there, right? So it's just don't let that sway you from your decisions. Now, if your decision's based off what you think, oh well, I think this is going to move, so I'm going to take a trade. Well, you know where you're going, where you're going with the 2024, right? Let's make 2024 a much more solid year for you. And how do we do that? Let's start taking trades based off rules. Now, for the next 10 trades, the rules need to be the same. The pattern needs to be the same. The setup needs to be the same, right? That's what professional trading is all about, right? It's having a bit of a business plan, a bit of a plan of attack. Let's not have, well, John, I created rules for this one, and then the next trade I created these rules for this one, and John, I created rules for this one here as well too. So what you tell me right now is the last 3 trades you've taken, they've all been completely different rules. Where's the probability in that, right? Where's the probability in that? So let's actually set this year up for you to be actually successful. You can be successful in the markets. Just don't let it take you 20 years for you to really start to really start to nuddle this out like it's taken me, right? I've done well over the last probably 10 plus years now out of the market. But even for myself right now, right, even as the years go on, it really the little things really start to fall into place about what I need to do if I want to be successful in the market, if I want to continue doing really well, if I want to have an incredible trading year in 2024, I must follow by these universal laws of successful trading. And one of those is what? I must have some sort of a pattern and rules that I follow that I know most of the time it's going to generate a profit. And then my job is to be patient for those setups. That's a universal law across all successful traders, right? Now the question is whatever setup you're going to use. If you join my webinar, first link in the description, I'll teach you my trading system. I'll give you my system for free, right? But the hardest thing is being patient for that. So let's go and have a look at the good old gold and silver right now. So let's have a look at gold. People really get the knickers in it, don't they? So gold right now has done nothing for the last couple of days. And someone's like, John, what's going on with gold? It's like, some people expect gold just to do this, right? It's probably not going to do just that. Now it may, but gold's in a very strong bullish trend. Look at this here, very strong upward trend. Look at this here, move up, pull back to what? The 52. Remember I said before about the stock market. Oh, look, very big move up. Look where we pulled back to. Oh, we actually pulled back to where? The 52, right? See this? This is a really good example of what the market does, right? It comes down, it pulls back to the 52. Comes down through here, pulls back to the 52. Right? And so we get these patterns. And that's where, guys, stock market warning, pullback coming, right? There's going to be a drop coming soon, right? And then we have a move to the upside. So right now, there's no need to worry. Why? Because the market is making these higher lows So even if we do get a bit of a drop down through to here somewhere, we could get a drop and we could get something like that. But as long as we keep making what? Higher lows, that means we are in an upward trend and there's no need to worry about gold. Okay, so if you're a short-term trader, and you're looking at the short-term TA, we're in an upward trend right now. Now, if you're long this market, if you're long a trading opportunity and then you actually got in based off something and now you're using my YouTube video to stay in gold, don't like, you're all over the place. You're not going to do, I want you to do well out of trading, right? You get into a trade bait say if you're in a trading opportunity right now, right? Where you got into gold, and I just said, well, it's in an upward trend. So even if we get a pullback, we're still in an upward trend. So there's a good chance of this thing continue up. And then you use my video to stay in. Like, hang on a minute. No. Let's actually bring this back here. Right? Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. All right. I want you to be successful. Be successful is not about using me as a YouTube video saying, oh, well, John said the market's an upward trend, so therefore I should hold on to it. No. Right? You have rules to get in. What is your pattern? What is your rules to get in? And then when you're getting out, what is your rules? Right? So for me personally, I have a pattern. I have rules that I get in. And then when I'm getting out, I have rules. So if I'm looking to cut my loss, if it's a losing trade, I'm looking to get out at fast so I can keep those losses small. And then I also have rules that when I'm in a trade and it is a really profitable trade and it is moving in my direction, I have one simple technique that I use that allows me to lock in profits as the trade is going so I can't have a loss, but then let also the trade run so I can maximize my gains on the winning trades and minimize my losses on the losing trades. Make sense? So we are making higher lows and we're probably going to do something like this, and then we're probably going to start to see a very big move to the upside when it comes to the gold market. Okay, so let's go look at silver, and the silver is doing what? Silver very, 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 very strong to the upside, right? Very strong to the upside. So what do we have through here? Right, we have a low period, we have a higher low, and guess what else? What do we have? Right, we have a higher low. Now look what's happened, right? We come back up. Look at it. Look where it actually bounced, right off that 52, right? 52 daily chart is the king, guys. 52 on the daily chart is the king, guys, right? So look what happened there. So who's still in control right now? We clearly have higher lows. So this could just be what? Another higher low. So we could just be getting ready to do something like this. Now this is the previous high up here. So this is the previous high here around that $24.50 level. So if that happens, then guess what? Now we could start to see possibly do something like this and then a break up. And if that happens, we're probably going to race up to a new high for the last couple of years. And when I mean the last couple of years, you can see that's probably the recent highs through there. Yeah, so that through there. So if we do start to see a bit of a push, we're probably going to get a push back up to there. We do have a bit of resistance around the 26 level, so that may be a point of where it may find a little bit of resistance. But looking at that level through there, and we can see if I extend this out now to the upside, then that looks like it's going to be somewhere through there, right? So something like that through there on the good old silver. So as long as we're still making these high lows, traders, guess what? Buyers are in control and we're in an upward trend. We are developing a lower high here, but guess what? Right now we need a lower high and breaking of the low for the sells to come in. Right now we're not getting that. Right now we're still making low, higher low, higher low. We are making a lower high, but what can happen here is that we get a bit of a drop down first, then it makes another higher low, and guess what? Now we're making these higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, and then away we go. So yeah, we're making a slight little lower high, but a downward trend is a lower high breaking the previous low. Upward trends are higher lows, higher lows. So we may get a higher low, lower high, and then it just does something like that. What are we getting? Higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, right? So that's what's happening right now on the good old silver. The silver market. Let's go look at the mining sector. Good old mining, right? Now what's happening here with the good old GDX? So the mining sector for right now, what are we getting? We are getting what? We're getting a very nice movement to the upside, okay? So that's moving through there, and we're getting a bit of a movement to this point here now. So if we maybe do something like that, It's probably not going to be that there. Maybe that's the level through there somewhere. Maybe that's going to be the line. Okay, so we're at that line through now. We do have a bit of a strong area of resistance up through here. Actually, if I squeeze my charts up a bit more, actually let's take off the 52 because we don't need that right now. What is the 52 doing? The 52 is actually starting to trend in our direction, which is nice. It was coming down. Now it's going up. We know that through there, right? So let's actually clean the chart up. Remember, traders, the most important thing, and that second link in the description there, traders, is my free trading course I'm giving away. And phase number 1 is all about, what goes into a good trade, the biggest mistakes you're making right now. And phase number 2 is all about chart reading, right? It's all about it's actually chart reading techniques. It's been working since the 1950s. And I teach you that in part number 2 in that free trading course, that second link in the description there, traders. But looking at this level through here, you can see, and the purpose of me bringing that up, guys, is that a lot of as you can see, right, I'm trying to remove everything I can because I'm trying to read what the market is telling me. Mr. Market is the man, right? Let's keep the main thing, right? Let's become a master at the markets, not master of a stochastic. Because even when you become a master of stochastic, it just doesn't, yeah. So we can see this movement to the upside, but we can see there's also a very big conjunction point through here around the $36 level. Maybe even a bit lower than that, maybe even through there. The purpose of me bringing this up, and we may have something going on like that through now, that through there, is that we can see now that we do have a bit of a resistance through here, right? So let me clone this. And as you can see, we're at this bit of resistance here. See this resistance here now? So if we go through, so what's happening through? Let's break this down. So firstly, low, higher low, higher low. So we are in a nice upward trend here on the short-term level, okay? On this daily chart through. So we're starting to build a lot of pressure here. We can also see that this whole level through here is really a good, strong level of resistance. Now, if we do get a bit of a pullback here and we bounce and we break this $32 level, then that means we could go for a nice run back up to the 35 to 36 before seeing a bit of resistance level. So it looks like if I zoom in now to what I'm talking about here, and let me open this chart right up. If I'm talking about here, that now is that there, right? So now I'm going to zoom in a bit more to give you a bit more a closer up view, is that if we start to see something like this, and then we get a breakout like that, there's a big probability now there's going to be pretty free and clear and run to start to see something like this, start to see the mining sector start to go for a nice little move to the upside, because we're in an upward trend, we're breaking this level, and the significant resistance is up through here, right? That's that next significant resistance level. So if we do start to see this over the next couple of days, we could see a bit of a movement to the upside. On the good old GDX, let's go look at the SIL. SIL. So the silver mining sector, something different, but looking very, very, very similar to the silver market. And what is that? We're getting a very strong move to the upside. So we'd have to use something like that through there. Creating a low, a higher low, and a higher low. So buyers are still in control. Okay, so buyers are in control now. Even though this very strong move up and a strong move down, now we had this movement to the upside, and now we're through here. So we're still making these higher lows. So looking at that, we also can see that roughly around this whole area through here, right? Yeah, roughly around that whole area, as you can see, there's actually a little bit, and what I like to do when I'm drawing my levels of support and resistance, traders, is it's not like a finite number, but it's more like an area. And I'm trying to get the most touches. So I can see recently it rejected through there. I also can see there's been a lot of rejection through here. And there's also been a lot of work around this level through here as well. So if I'm going to put like an area, I'd have to say around the $25 level is what? That next resistance level. Make sense? And then if I'm going to clone this now, and I'm going to go to the next level of where majority of the touches have been, not the ultimate high points, but I have to say it'd have to be up there at $26.20. Why? The reason why is because look at it, had the rejection through there, which was a couple of days. It had a really good, about 3 or 4 days worth of rejection through there, and it also rejected up through here as well to this move up. Why is that important to us? Because as we're trading these markets, okay, and if I zoom in right now, as we're looking at this level through here, if we do get something like this here again, see how we had a move up? For you guys, for you guys that have been following me for a while, what do I call this pattern here? I call this what? Let's see who's actually been following me for quite some time, and you've actually been watching it for this video for this long. Firstly, I take my hat off to you because I'm really teaching you some really awesome, simple but powerful techniques here that you can start to apply in your own trading right now. But what do I call this here? What pattern what is this pattern right now? So I'm looking for the same pattern, right? What if we got something like that and then something like that? There's a big probability we're going to start to see what? We're going to start to see a nice move to the upside. So we just need to be alert of this one here, right? But the first person to guess what pattern this is called, that I call it anyway, that I like to look for in the markets, and the reason why this was such a successful move to the upside, because it had the what pattern. Let's see who can say, John, that pattern is called, and that way I know you'll be talking about that. Say, John, that pattern is called that. And that's the reason why that had a very big move to the upside. So if we get the pattern again, guess what's probably going to come, right? We're probably going to see something like that to happen. So let's go and have a look at oil right now. Nice big look at oil. Let's go deep into some other markets here, right? I'm having a whole bunch of fun here. Guys, can you guys give me a hell yeah if you like this sort of analysis here as well too, right? Where I'm actually going deep into the TA of side of things of all these markets as well too, right? So I do these teaching videos as well, like I've done in the past, where I'm teaching stuff, and I'm teaching here as well too. But right now, this market update is really about our market update and teach you the most important things as I'm thinking about these markets as I'm going along. Because I want you to be successful traders. That's all that matters to me. I want you to do really, really, really well. Don't take 20 years to figure this shit out. Well, it took me 10, and every year, traders, I get better and better and better, right? Because there's some screw-ups that I need to improve on as well too. So I'm not perfect. But oil, what's going on with oil? Oil had a big move up. And so look at this here. We had a move up, higher low, another move up, another higher low, and then look what happened. As soon as we got that through there, guess what happened? The change of trend, right? Now look what happened. Down, lower, high. Who's in control now? Sellers, right? Sellers are in control. So we're having a very strong movement to the downside out of oil. Let's go look at that weekly chart here for a minute. Ooh, wow. So oil could be getting ready to have a big drop, because look at that there. There's actually a whole bunch of area resistance around that. I'm laughing right now, guys, because if I say, look, see this area here, traders? There's a lot of support. And I remember a while, this is a long time ago actually, I still laugh at it, but someone said, John, tell me the number. Some people are feeding their cats while listening to you. And I'm like, oh, okay, maybe you should look at the screen so your eye can see the patterns as well. Anyway, so pattern recognition with our eye is very, very, very important. So we can see that through there, right? So that's coming down. So very, very, very weak on the downside. But I do say, traders, by looking at this pattern, I've seen this pattern many times. In fact, I had a small loss by trading this in the past. And that is actually last year. Let's actually be real here, right? Last year. Because we've been going down for quite some down, and if we get something like that, and then a big breakdown bar like that, or something like that happening, yeah, that's probably going to be a false move to the downside, right? And then we're probably going to then get a bit of a pullback through here, and then we may get going again. But if we do get a break on the downside here, breaking of these lows first, it's probably going to be a false breakout first, and then we may get the movement back up to get a bit more refueling phase before we get going again. Make sense? Let's go look at the dollar index. Dollar index. DXY. There we go. So dollar index, very, very, very weak, right? Look at this here. Very weak. Now, traders, do you guys remember me telling you about the bullish flag? If you've been following me for quite some time, you know, look at this here. What is this? This is what? That's a bull flag. How come it went down? Ooh, look at the breakout. It broke out, had a little retracement, and then we've actually gone down. Oh, right. Bullish flag, but bearish trade. You guys remember that? If not, then go check out the last few market updates I've done. Now, they've been pretty long, like this one here, so you have a few hours of catching up on some really awesome trading stuff I've been sharing over the last couple of days. Welcome back. So we can see that through there. And that's what's happening on the DXY from there. Let's go look at some of the actual, let's go look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin, what's Bitcoin doing? Remember I said before, traders, look at this here, right? See how it's all the same thing? Same analysis. Look at this here. Bitcoin went up, 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 up. Remember the market's like an energy source. It went up, it slowed down, then it went back up again. Now what's been happening with Bitcoin for the last couple of weeks? Why is Bitcoin doing this for the last couple of weeks? Why? Because now it's refueling again. Just like the stock market, right? Just like the stock market's going to keep going up. You don't know. It's like, okay, there's a high probability like what Bitcoin's doing right now. And then we may be getting ready for another move to the upside. The only issue that I see with Bitcoin is that when we're talking about how much it's actually done, I think we need a really good sort of resting phase. Because if we've used all this, if this has all been energy, and now we've had this little move to the ups to here, even if the 52 does start to catch up through here, like that, and we get something like this, and then we get something like that happening out of Bitcoin, that's probably going to be a false breakout because we used all this energy and we've only had this little sideways movement compared to all the energy we used, right? Think about it as the gym. Right, so when we go to the gym, we spent a lot of energy, and then you might go home for an hour. Are you ready to go for another big move again? No, probably not, right? You probably need another day or two rest so you can really fully refuel, right? So similar time. So we would need something like this to happen, I would say. So that was the move from there. Yeah, so we probably need a bit more time now to actually see this thing. Doesn't mean it's not going to, right? But if we do get a push to the upside, yeah, look at that. I'm also noticing too that if we do get a push to the upside, there's actually a whole bunch of area resistance and support through there. So it's probably going to be a false breakout move. Now, the exciting thing about that is that if we start to go down to some smaller time frames, and let me actually do this here. Let me actually draw. The exciting thing about that is that that could actually be a nice little short-term trade. So let's go down to the 15-minute chart. Where is that? This is the 15-minute chart here. Let's go to the hourly chart here for a minute. Okay, so the exciting thing about with what I just said is that for you guys that are short-term traders, that as soon as we start to, if Bitcoin does start to make its way back up through here, right, and we start to do something like this, and we get that, and we get a bit of a breakout, then yeah, we're probably going to go for a move here, but it's probably not going to be a big move. So for you guys that are short-term traders, if we got something like this happening and then a breaking of the 44,000, we're probably going to make our way back up to the 46,000 level, somewhere around there. Maybe even a bit higher, right? Because the market likes to push up a bit higher. So if we see that, we could get something like that, a bit of a break. There could be this trade here, breaking this level, then run into the next resistance level. It may even break up and then come back down and then possibly start to do a lot more time, because that's that big picture there, right? That's that daily chart that I told you about. But because we can see probably a false breakout type of a move happening, like this here, actually let's do this here. So if we can see there's probably going to be a false breakout type of a move happening, and I'll draw this in for you so you can see what I'm talking about here. And this is what I'm always looking for, guys. Even if this is a false breakout move, just say we get something like that happening on the daily charts. Okay, let me see. Let me change this to a big green. And is that the thickest I can go? Yep. Is that what she said? I hope not. Anyway, so back to the regular scheduled market update. So where is that? Where is that thing that I just drew? Did that come over? Yes, it did. Okay. So let's just say, for example, that's the move going to happen before. We know that this bar here is going to be some sort of a false breakout. Let's actually do something lighter, like a light green. There we go, right? If we know this is going to be some sort of a false breakout type of pattern here, then once again, looking at this level here, it's going to create a good opportunity for the short-term level, right? Because once again, if we start to make our way back up, get a little bit of it through there, and then we get a bit of a breaking like that level through there, if we know this is going to be a false breakout, through here, this is an hourly chart, but if we look at, say, a 15-minute chart, the 15-minute chart might give you a breakout, and it might give you a 15-minute chart, might give you something like that before it comes back down. There's been many times with my private clients that I've helped them understand that even though we get a false breakout move, that could be a really good trade on a 15-minute chart. Now, again, we need rules, right? But for me, when I'm looking at these nice breakout type of moves, even if we do get some sort of a false breakout type of a pattern, there still could be a really amazing opportunity to take a trade on that shorter time frame charts from there. Makes sense? So I'll leave it from there, traders. Actually, you know what? I'm just looking at all the different markets I can look at. Let's go look at Tesla, because I know a lot of people are looking at Tesla as well. All right, so this is good old Tesla. I think Tesla's actually looking quite strong right now, traders. I really do. Looking at this level through here, looking at this level through here, to me, this actually could be making the same similar pattern that it made in the past. And what I'm talking about here is, look at this, all right? Look at this. So it made a move up, and then we created like this very sort of, it wasn't straight down, right? It's more like a flag formation, and now we had this move up. And see how we're just doing the same thing, but just slightly, just like we're doing the same thing, but just a little bit bigger, right? So we're doing the same thing again here. So who knows? Like Tesla's actually looking quite strong through here. We actually could be getting ready for a breakout and then another move to the upside, because we're not going down strong. We're not seeing any really strong down legs, right? And that tells you that there's not a lot of strong sellers through here. We had this very large candle through here, but it didn't actually work, right? We didn't actually get some strong follow through. That was the point of time. We need to see something like this for the sellers to be strong. Sellers try to be strong here, little bounce, try it again, and then a little bounce again. See what I'm saying there? So we're not getting a lot of strength through here. So anyway, traders, that is it for me today. If you'd like to take it further, guys, and you'd like to learn my trading system and a whole bunch of down home country goodness, that first link in the description there, guys, is a link to my webinar where I'll teach you all the details to my trading system. Have an amazing day, guys.